Today we're not talking about dresses. Oh my god, it's cold! As you might have remembered, I submitted 2 things into the competition, and I only got one of them accepted. I got the dress accepted. Yeah! But I did end up making the digital piece. So what now? Oh my god. I think the most important thing is to not let it go to waste. So it's going to be submitted into a division-wide art show, but I do still have the time lapse, and because it was originally part of my submission, I'm going to include it into this project. I'm basically just going to walk you through the process of the time lapse when I made it, because I don't have enough clips to fill you in on the next installment of the dress. So bear with me while that works through, but I hope you like this one. Oh my god. Can you even hear the mic? So I use Procreate on an iPad. Don't ask me which generation of iPad because I don't know. It was a Christmas gift. Anyway, so I basically first start with a rough sketch of the body. To do this, I usually look up different runway shows from the 90s, back when supermodels had more personality. I usually start off with the body, and that'll usually get a feel for what I'm gonna do. I never really go into artwork with like a set plan in mind. I usually just kind of first do the body, get a general feel for it. I also had to reuse the hair from a different drawing, but I did later draw it in. So it was basically just a placeholder hair. Don't try saying that I copy and pasted my artwork and then just reused it. It ain't gonna work.
Quiet, ain't no gap.
Okay. So the first thing that I got done was the main top to like midsection piece. I knew that I wanted it to be low cut. I knew that I wanted it to barely cover the chest. And then I struggled for a really long time on where to go from there. Like I said, I don't really go in with a set plan, and this is something I'm trying to work on, but obviously I haven't worked far enough. But I only had the top piece, so I started off with making like a short mini skirt. I then moved on to a long sort of maxi skirt. Also didn't like that. I also gave it a cape, which I hated more. And I ultimately focused on the arms, and then I really like a sort of like, if you ever saw the Mugler 1995 runway, I think it was their fall winter collection. Cardi B wore it to an event. I've always thought about it. Mugler 1995, like vintage Mugler, Dior, things like that. That's always been my inspiration. So I was like, oh, let me just play off that. So I did. I gave it a really big skirt, and then I was like, oh my god, what if it was up? And I made it go up. So I gave it a skirt, I made it go up. I also turned the top into a undershirt that gets covered up by a corset. Then the corset then leads into the skirt main bodice piece. So I did that, and basically it's supposed to be getting caught by the wind, which is why it's going up. It's not structured to go up. Unlike the Mugler 1995, like I said, inspired, not taking. So I then took off all the hair, and then I proceeded to add the main colors. If you focus right next to the eye, I always have all of my colors laid out before I start shading. That is very important, because you never want to use black or white. And then I basically just started coloring in the eye first. The eye is the main part of the focus on the face. Anyway, so I did the eye first. The face up is always the main part of my pieces. If you really notice, you can tell that I focus on it first. It's what has the most detail, followed by probably the hair and then the body. So the eyes are very important to me. I'm gonna just speed run this because I'm cold. I did the eyes, then the eyeshadow, then the eyebrows, shade in the eyes, then the nose contour. The nose has to look like she cannot breathe. I then did the chest. You cannot tell me that the boobs are not there. Those boobs are so 3D. I gotta make sure no one from their apartments is listening. Anyway, so I did that. Then I started adding in the flat colors. I think I already shaded in a little bit of the chest piece, but then I go back in and add more colors. Like I said, always lay out your colors beforehand. And then, here's a fun little thing. So a couple art pieces ago, I learned how to use the blending tool. I don't know what the actual word is for Procreate, but I learned how to use it, and I use it in a paintbrush style so it looks like it's oil painted when it's actually just 2D art. Well, everything's 2D art that I do, but it's actually just a digital piece, which I think looks really cool, so I really played with it. I added in the deepest shadows, followed in by the highlights, then I really refined them to sort of give them that 3D effect. I think that's my biggest achievement, obviously, besides the face and the boobs. The skirt I think it looks really good, but it never got judged, so I don't know. Is that the police department? So I then proceeded to add in the boots. As you can see, I sort of turn on and off the sketch layer just to see what I'm doing. At this point, I added in the details. I never explained what this is. Oh my, like I said, I never really have a plan or like a set thought in mind, but because I wanted it to be more meaningful, it's a vestido tradicional. Basically, it's a traditional dress that El Salvadorians will wear to festivals. So I kind of mixed the traditional dress with like American, European sort of like fashion style. Anyway, so I added in the details. The details is what makes the dress, okay? The details are so minuscule. If you look in the final piece, I really zoomed in for them, basically. I finally added in the hands, then I added in the background. The background took me maybe like a day. I added in my signature, but I redid it. I did the bow. I really hated the bow. I did it like 3 times, but then I added it in the end. And then that's it. So what do we do now? This is sort of just like a buffer video in between them because I don't have enough clips to make the next part of the dress series, like I said before. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this, sort of taking you through my process. And I really hope that you enjoy the different cuts to the different parts of the school here. I mean, like, we redid our fields. I'm not a fan of the blue, but you can't see the blue right now, so I'm gonna show you the fields. Like, look at that. Our field, I wish I still had PE so I could use that. Anyways, so that's gonna be it. I really hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, thank y'all so much. I can't feel my finger. Is that normal? No.